67. Dreams and their interpretation. 14th April 1847. By what and in what way will it be recognizable what I want to have understood by the previously announced secret noteworthy thing? Does this noteworthy thing have external signs? It does not have such things, and if it does have them for a fine observer, little or no credence is given to them. This secret memorability usually consists in certain visions, which in good people as well as in bad ones can come either from heaven or from hell. Therefore, it is highly necessary to get right information about this extremely memorable point and the right rules of conduct, so that one knows how to behave in the case of such secret phenomena, which are often hardly credible. The visions are of various kinds. The most common and well known to everyone are the night dreams. Here we can ask, who actually dreams, and what are the dream images? In ordinary sleep, only the soul dreams, and this dreaming is nothing else than a confused viewing of the soul into its own relations, which, however, have no connection, but change every moment approximately like the pictures in a so-called kaleidoscope, and completely the same never appear again. This kind of visions have no other use for the soul than that it should remember after such a dream how it is still in an absolute state. If it summarizes the dreams, even writes them down where possible, the soul can have a good portrait of itself from them, for they show it what it is like in itself, what its main desires are, what its strivings are, and what its overall condition is and will be when it is completely out of the flesh. These kind of dreams are neither caused by infernal, nor even less by heavenly spirits in the soul, but they are completely own products of the soul, of which it remembers sometimes more, sometimes less, sometimes not at all, which depends with a still completely natural man, mainly on how his nerve spirit is constituted. If it inclines more towards the soul, man will remember almost every dream exactly. But if it inclines more towards the flesh, and usually sleeps with it, man will also have little or no recollection of his dreams, which is usually the case with those people who are very sensual and grossly material. But it is quite different with certain bright dreams, in which it seems to the dreamer as if the apparition were reality, so that he can hardly tell himself upon awakening whether it was a dream or reality. Such visions or dreams do not belong to the soul, but to the spirits surrounding it, may they be of good or evil nature. If they are of an evil nature, the soul, and through it also its body, will awaken from such a dream as if completely exhausted. But if these visions are the work of good spirits, then on awakening, both soul and body will be in a strengthened state. Both kinds of these visions are admitted only for the benefit, but not for the harm of the soul. In the bad ones, it should find a warning, and in the good ones, a strengthening. These visions become so vivid because the spirits that cause them first detach the nerve spirit from its material service and connect it with the soul. Therefore, in such a state, the soul has the feeling of naturalness because it is in connection with its nerve spirit and is therefore stronger to receive and retain the more powerful and meaningful images. To this class of inner visions also belong the visions of the somnambulists, as also what has already been explained to you, the visions in the so-called sulfur ether narcosis. These visions have therefore already in themselves a certain dressing and a certain order, because here already a more pure wine is poured into the soul by the spirits surrounding it. In such visions, the soul is not seldom presented with future results by the spirits, which is nothing difficult for the spirits, because they firstly know the order of things in which they must follow one another unchangeably, and secondly, because they themselves are the actors of this order. It is just as if one of you were to enter a strange house. He will not know what the master of this house will do today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. But the master of this house will know, because he must be privy to his business relations. But if he tells you what he will do, you will know it too. Therefore, you cannot know what the spirits will accomplish in this year, because you are still strangers in the house of the spirits. But if the spirits announce it to a soul, then it will also know what will happen. But in order for the spirits to be able to tell the soul something like that, it must first be prepared by them for this. And this preparation is exactly that which was indicated here above. According to this, a lot is to be thought of this vision. However, no one should rely on it, as the pagans once did on a so-called unchangeable fate, because no one should be impaired in his freedom of will because of this. If someone seriously wants something different than what the spirits have shown him in this vision, he must only turn to me, that the thing would become different, and it becomes different if he believes and trusts, which is why he has turned to me. Because I alone can change all things in every moment. And if I myself say, tomorrow I will do this and that, but you have love and trust in me, and ask me to keep it, I will do as you ask, and it will be a disadvantage for no one. For I can use all circumstances, conditions and things in this way and that, and 1,000 must serve me as one, and a day as a year, and 1,000 years as a day. Therefore, no one should be too frightened by such visions, which do not occur infrequently. For if they are good, then no one needs to be frightened by them. And if they are bad, then they can well be changed. But of course, whoever firmly believes in it and does not trust me with more power than his vision, then it may well be called fiat. So be it. But the human mind is certainly so weak that it likes to infer all kinds of future results from very simple dreams. And people have already made a certain rule for themselves, according to which certain things must happen after certain dreams. Which regulation of dreams and their certain consequences is quite naturally as extraordinarily stupid as the one who regulated them. There are water dreams. They bring the death of some relative or other acquaintance. Fire brings either a lie or a joy. Bread, dung, and wedding dreams are thought to be prophecies of death in the family. If one dreams of bees, there will be a fire. If one dreams of ants, there will be a flood. Or man will have many sorrows. If one dreams of grasshoppers, crickets, and flying birds, it means war, and so on, and a lot of silliness, not to mention the lottery dreams. These pictures, which present themselves to the soul in the dream, are surely correspondences of the state of the soul, but by no means prophets of future results. How much does it take for a person to have as many relatives, friends, and acquaintances as there are days in a year? Sometimes even 10 times as many. And that out of several hundreds or thousands in a year, some easily die. If one dreams of water, bread, dung, or marriage, then this dream was certainly meant for the deceased, whether he died 14 days earlier or 14 days later. All other dreams are the same. Someone had dreamed of a lot of locusts, and he was now half afraid and half longing for a war. But because nothing wants to stir in his country, and nothing in the neighbouring countries either, so he goes and carefully reads the newspapers, and lo and behold, he reads in an article about war between English sailors and their colonists with natives on Zealand. And he slaps his forehead pathetically and speaks quite seriously. I have recently, in Steiermark, dreamed of locusts. That means war. And right, it is war on New Zealand. If our reader had tried a little harder, he would probably have come across several wars in the newspapers at the same time. Behold, such faith is then an evil, which can harm the soul very much, because the soul thereby gets into the habit to completely let go of trust in me because of such moments. And the more of such prophetic vision scruples take root in the soul, the more they weaken the faith, the trust, as also the love for me. If even such simple dreams belong only to the soul, then also the stupid interpretations after that belong to a bad ghostly company, which wars the flesh at such occasions like the blowflies a pile of dung, and sucks from it such soul-dream visions, and then wheedles the soul again with such silly prophecies, which in themselves are nothing but nonsense of such bad spiritual flies, by which it is not seldom pasted over just as many house windows are pasted over by the flies, through which in the end the ray of sunlight can no longer penetrate, or only very badly. Just as, for this very reason, the ray of grace from my sun cannot have an effect on the soul, because it is pasted over too much with such stupidities. But for this very reason I give this here, so that you may know what to think in the future of the dreams, and also of other visions, which will be discussed more extensively in the following, in the point of truth. Every phenomenon certainly has its corresponding reason, as well as a corresponding purpose. But there shall be no question of any imaginary stupidity. Therefore, next time more about this remarkable matter.